Overdrive this week, Sandeep hits the water to check out some fast and luxurious speedboats. Sirish answers all your motoring queries on Auto Selector. And we test the new Mercedes E-Class Coupe. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I'm Shireen Bhan. Right at the start of the show, we're going to be heading off into the wild blue yonder, quite literally. Sandeep is out at sea and he's checking out some of the coolest powerboats available in India today. Let's take a look.
Now this is usually the part of the show where Shirish or Bert stand next to some insanely expensive car and tell you just how cool it is. Well, today it's my turn and there's no cars and bikes for me today. Instead, I'm going to introduce you to the world of boats.
Why boating, you may ask? Well, take a look around. Over the past 3 years, the Indian boating industry has exploded into life. The mooring at the gateway of India in Mumbai, which used to play host to a few dozen sailboats and ferries, is now jam-packed with over 200 yachts and powerboats. And it's not just restricted to Mumbai. The boating revolution is visible across the west and east coasts of India. Like cars, powerboats come in all shapes, sizes and types. But here in the coastal waters of Mumbai, one brand has been catching the eye with its angular, aggressive, in-your-face designs. Built in America since 1959, Sea Ray is one of the biggest international players in the luxury sports boat market. And since the brand entered India in 2007, over 30 of these boats can be found in waterways and harbours across the country. Now this is a Sea Ray 330. As the name suggests, it's 33 feet long and runs twin 260 horsepower engines. Sea Ray's entire range is built from composite fiberglass, which ensures the boats stay light and at the same time are stiff enough to take a real pounding in rough conditions. The 330 has also been designed with a deep V in the bow or front of the boat to allow it to cut through the waves and stay stable. Now typically the longer a boat, the more stable it is in waves. Though for every few feet of additional waterline length, be prepared to add a 0 or 2 to the check you're going to write. But whatever you choose to spend, the sheer thrill of crashing through the waves at speed is priceless.
Wow! As you can see, the Sea Ray 330 doesn't just look stunning, it goes like stink too. And it's filled with technology that you probably haven't seen even on the highest end cars. So let's take a closer look at that.
In addition to plush leather seats, wood-rimmed steering wheels and top-notch navigation systems, you also have a joystick for close-quarter maneuvering and digital engine information displays. But what you won't see even in the most high-end of cars is a cabin quite like this. Sea Ray has an options list longer than Homer's Iliad, but even in its most basic layout, this cabin offers all the essentials and a few luxuries thrown in for good measure. You have a remote-controlled master bed, a shower with hot and cold water, a stove, an oven, a fridge, and even a dedicated ice maker. But if you're thinking this is all function and no play, check out the big screen LCD TVs with surround sound and a DVD changer.
But what's really amazing about this cabin is the space utilization. Every little nook and cranny has been used for something or the other, and as a result, the amount of space that's been liberated is quite outstanding. In fact, this cabin probably has more space than some Mumbai apartments.
Now while the 330 is a sports cruiser with a cabin for added comfort,
if all you want to do is zip around in the sun in a big open boat, this one, the 300 Select, is what you should get.
Like the stripped-out Porsche GT3 and Lamborghini Superleggera, the 300 Select does away with the cabin's excess weight in search of more performance. So the best place to enjoy this boat is from behind the wheel.
Now a powerboat is not unlike a car to drive. You have a steering wheel, you have a throttle system, but the biggest difference is the fact that you don't have brakes.
In this case, putting your foot down really means using your right hand. But spend 15 minutes understanding the controls and you'll find yourself driving the boat comfortably in open waters. But while it is easy to accelerate away, coming to a stop requires prior planning and practice, as the only thing slowing you down is the water itself.
Now, if you're in the market for one of these power boats, there are a whole host of engine options for you to choose from, and you're only limited by your budget. This particular boat is running two massive 350 horsepower engines. Now, that's a lot of fork under there. Let's see what it can do.
Both the boats I tested use Mercruiser's Seacoast stern-drive petrol engines optimized for use in coastal waters. Stern drives are hybrids where the engine compartment sits inside the boat and the propulsion system underwater behind the hull. As a result, noise and vibration are greatly reduced while providing a massive jump in performance.
All of Sea Ray's boats have an advanced drive-by-wire throttle and steering system. Now, what that basically means is you have a hydraulic system and you have a couple of electronic sensors that sense the load on the steering wheel and on the engines and adjust the pressure on the wheel, not unlike a power steering system.
Okay, so I have no 0 to 100 times to impress you with, but acceleration is instant, and once up to speed, the wind in your face makes it feel like you're going a lot faster. For the record, given the right conditions, the 300 Select can touch 30 knots or 55 kilometers an hour on water. While it is remarkably stable and smooth even in choppy water, flicking this boat around and changing course is easy work. If thrills are what you seek, the 300 Select is ready to oblige, and you're just limited by how much lean you want to induce to impress your passengers.
Sea Ray's Indian range starts with runabouts priced at around 20 lakh rupees. But for the right combination of luxury and performance, you need a 30 to 35 foot sports cruiser. And those begin at 1 crore for the base model, and liberal use of the options list could set you back by double that depending on the length of your boat. But if you're in the market for a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, think again. A motor yacht's unique combination of luxury, style, performance and exclusivity may just give you way more bang for your buck. Now, I'm not going to buy one of these anytime soon, but I've still had an epic day. Back to you, Shireen.
Well, that was just the first installment. We're going to be bringing you other kinds of watercraft on the show over the next few months, so stay tuned to Overdrive. Time for us to take our first commercial break, but when we return, it's time for us to answer your queries on Auto Selector with Sirish, and we bring you Mercedes' new E-Class Coupe.